Hi, my name is Kelly Wilbur, and I am one Catholic counselor. Nancy McWilliams wrote that psychoanalytic theory describes us all in two basic dimensions: how nuts we are and what type of nuts we are. In this group of videos, I'll quote liberally from her book, Psychoanalytic Diagnosis, and the PDM-2 to focus on that second dimension and discuss one personality type per video. Today I'll talk about narcissistic personalities and address what characterizes them, how they develop, what they're like in therapy, and how to differentiate them from other personalities. First, what is a narcissist? A narcissist is someone whose sense of inner emptiness drives them to maintain self-esteem by getting affirmations from outside themselves. Narcissists are preoccupied with how they appear to others and privately feel fraudulent and loveless. Narcissists range from being vain and grandiose to being depressed and self-critical. However, they all have in common the inner experience of shame, weakness, and inferiority. The PDM-2 says the narcissist's characteristic pathological belief about the self is, I need to be perfect to feel okay, while the respective pathological belief about others is, others enjoy riches, beauty, power, and fame. The more I have of those, the better I will feel. How does someone become a narcissist? The four schools of psychoanalytic thought, drive, ego, object, and self-psychologies each have overlapping theories. From a more drive, affect, and temperament perspective, narcissism may paradoxically develop out of a child's special attunement to others. If this temperament is exploited by caregivers, a child may grow up feeling that their own self-worth is connected to the demands of other people. This dynamic contributes to a personality organized around shame, and it is important to differentiate shame from guilt here. Guilt is the feeling that one is bad. Shame is the feeling that one is seen as bad. From an ego psychology perspective, narcissistic personalities emerge from an overdependence on specific defenses we use to maintain ego equilibrium. In this case, idealization and devaluation. When narcissists idealize someone, they feel more important due to their association with that idealized person. Alternately, when narcissists devalue someone, they feel superior to that devalued person. In both cases, narcissists are defending against the shame of their own flaws by either fusing with the idealized person's perfection or distancing themselves from the devalued person's imperfection. From an object relations perspective, narcissistic development is often cultivated by narcissistic caregivers. If caregivers only value a child for what that child does for them, the child's self-esteem becomes organized around a need for external affirmation. As the child grows up, that need for others to love and affirm them far outweighs their capacity to love and affirm others. From a self-psychology perspective, when the cultivation of a healthy sense of self is lacking, a person has only two ways to understand themselves. Either they become grandiose, which is all good, or depleted, which is all bad. Simply feeling good enough isn't an available option. This creates a very fragile sense of self that is particularly sensitive to weakness. Thus, narcissists tend not to admit fault or to show gratitude, as both would require the acknowledgement of need. What are narcissists like in therapy? In therapy, a narcissist's transference, or how they feel about the therapist, will be represented by intense idealizations or devaluations. In other words, they will perceive the therapist as incredible or absolutely incompetent. This can be the result of the client attempting to externalize an aspect of themselves onto the therapist. The therapist's countertransference, or how the therapist feels in response to the client, may range from boredom and drowsiness to a feeling of grandiosity if the client is idealizing the therapist. The key to a healthy narcissist is the achievement of self-acceptance without either inflating the self or disparaging others. The two schools of thought on how to achieve this come from Heinz Kohut and Otto Kernberg. Kohut suggested a more supportive approach, where the therapist provides unwavering empathy and benignly tolerates the patient's idealization and devaluation. Kernberg, in contrast, advocated a more active approach of confronting grandiosity and interpreting defenses. McWilliams recommends patience and especially humility. Therapists who model a healthy acknowledgement of their own errors, especially lapses in empathy, will model the appropriate complexity of a self that deserves neither idealization nor devaluation. Interventions with narcissists should be framed very sensitively, as shame can drive narcissists to abruptly abandon treatment. One effective intervention is challenging the narcissist to make their needs explicit to others. This allows the narcissist to avoid the shame of asking for help and allows them opportunities to experience true human interdependency. You can differentiate narcissists from other personalities in the following ways. Narcissists and psychopaths are both dependent on external sources of self-esteem. However, narcissists idealize to defend against shame, while psychopaths lean on omnipotent control to defend against weakness. For more on differentiating narcissists and psychopaths, please see my video, Narcissists, Psychopaths, and Love: How to Tell Hurtful Personalities Apart. Narcissists and depressive people may both seem melancholic. However, while a depressive person may be subjectively full of critical and angry internalizations, a narcissist who is depressed will exhibit a subjective emptiness. Narcissists and obsessive-compulsive people may both have an obsessive attention to detail and perfection. However, while obsessive-compulsives may be judgmental, self-critical, and possess a need for control and guilt over anger, narcissists are usually more subjectively empty than angry and have a self-esteem that is much more fragile. Lastly, narcissists and hysteric histrionic people may both experience wild swings of idealization and devaluation. However, a hysteric histrionic person's warmness and capacity to love outside their core conflicts stands in contrast to a narcissist's emptiness. Also, hysteric histrionic behavior is gender specific and fueled more by anxiety than shame. I hope this provides a general understanding of what narcissists are, how they develop, what they're like in therapy, and how to differentiate them from other personalities. Thank you for watching, and please be sure to look for my other videos describing the other personality character structures.